Hey, what's good? It's Cadillaktrackz, man. Hey, appreciate everybody here being here. Hope you had a happy 4th. Just gonna make another quick beat making video. I started on this yesterday on the 4th of July, so I'm just gonna go ahead and finish it up today. A lot of times I'll start and then I'll finish the beats later. Appreciate everybody who showed support on the template. If you haven't checked it out yet, I have a custom template. It's not just a layout on Fruity Loops. This is Fruity Loops, and this is a layout because it has all these little things. But it's actually allows you to push buttons on the machine hardware and control functions up here in Fruity Loops. But I just started on this beat yesterday, and it's got a lot going on. I just need to kind of organize it, so we're gonna go ahead and show everybody what I was working on. Appreciate everybody. I do these videos just so I can show y'all the workflow of using Maschine and Fruity Loops together. Specifically, it doesn't really show the template because you can't see me and my machine, and you can't see me pushing buttons on it. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started. This is what I was working on yesterday, and I got a lot of organization to do, it looks like. So go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn this light off right here. And I try to keep these videos short. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to what I'll do is I'll organize everything. We have the beat kind of laid out right here. We're going to organize everything. Once everything's organized, we'll go to the playlist right here, and we'll kind of draw out the beat. And you can see a machine right here. I have Maschine open right here, and you can see how I've done all the drums right here inside of Maschine. We have our drum pattern. I was able to tap out the drums and everything, and you can do the machine, you can do the drums inside a Maschine or Fruity Loops. It doesn't matter, man. I've been trying to figure out which way is better to get a nice rhythm and stuff. But honestly, I can't say which one is better. If you're real good with your fingers and drumming, it might be better on Maschine. If you're real used to drawing them in here, it might be better here. Or you might just do a little 50-50, draw some in here and sequence other ones on Maschine. Alright, so we started off with this guitar chord right here, basically. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna solo it. We have a lot going on right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn my audio card on so that y'all can hear everything. It's gonna affect my audio quality and the lag a lot, but I want y'all to be able to see what I'm doing. So it starts like this. And that's just the guitar from Omnisphere right there. I don't even have anything going on it right now. You can see that it's just coming into here. I did put this little parametric EQ. It's just doing a little bit of EQ and reverb, and that was about it. And looks like I should have cut some low off. I did cut a little low off, and then I did use this pitch wheel. This is a good little plug-in. It helps you to pitch shift. Just like I use some other plugins to do that, basically to tune your sample or your sound to make it go up a key or down a key or up a semitone or down a semitone. Just shifting the pitch. So after I did that, I opened up, I actually cloned the guitar. Sometimes I'll clone it if I want to have another pattern going on that same instrument. It's just easier to do it that way. You just right click and go to clone, and it'll make an exact copy of that instrument. And that's what this is right here. So let me go ahead and I'm going to rename that actually. All right. And then I came up with this little melody. I don't really like it that much, but I mean, shit, I don't really play guitar or piano anyway, so I try to come up with a few notes that would go. The scale is a unusual scale for me. It's in a C sharp Dorian. So I'm not really familiar with the scale that much, so it's hard to really do a lot on it. But I came up with this. So you can already hear it's like a guitar type beat. I like guitars, man, more and more that I use them, because it's just kind of funky to be able to play a guitar, you know, on your piano, and you're not a guitar player and all that. So it's it's fun. So I just made that, man. That was about it, man. And after that, I came in and I was trying to play that chord on a organ, but it didn't sound good at all. So I ended up taking my piano and running it through an organ processor. So that's what this is right here, 19. I don't know if it should be 9. I guess it has to be 19. I skipped 18. Whatever. So 19 was this right here. And let me rename it. This is the chord. And this chord right here, it's just a piano, and the piano goes to this effect right here, Rotator. I've showed y'all this effect before. It's dope as hell. Y'all should really get it. It's from UVI, and it's like a rotary organ type processor effect. So I put that on it and made it really sound like kind of like an organish type sound, and it sounds like this right here. And, let me just turn it on for us. That's pretty nice, right? And look at, if I turn the rotary effect off, you can hear how it really is just a piano. So it's big. I love that plugin. I use it all the time. All right, so we got the chords going right there, and this is when I open up Scalar. So a lot of times I'll use Scalar if I have a lot of chords going, but I'm not sure what key they're in, and that's how I found out that it was in the C sharp Dorian mode. And it's, like I said, it's not a scale I'm too familiar with, so I had to kind of be careful with that. And so that's what I did. I went ahead and I made those little melodies. So those three sounds are basically the melody that'll be going during the beat right here. So I gotta find a way to make them all kind of fit together. And then after that, I came down here to Complete Control. I've showed y'all how to use Complete Control. It's very important that you learn how to use Complete Control, because it's the key to using a lot of machine functions inside of your DAW. I don't use it like a lot of people use it. A lot of people might they open it up and they go over here and they're opening up instruments and all that. You can do that, but you might as well just use your machine for that. But it does have a good scale. It has the scale and art mode functions, and those are very valuable, you know. If you don't have my template set up to have scales set up on your machine at all times, even in MIDI mode, then you need something like that. So I went ahead and I used the Complete Control, and I ended up making another guitar pattern, and also basically another guitar pattern. I figured this could be like a breakdown or a different section of the beat. And so the guitar on this part sounds like this. So it was just real simple, up and down, dun, 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 dun. And so I went ahead and I put the piano on this part, but just regular. So I copied that piano, I cloned it, and I just have the regular piano on this part right here. So this will be a different section of the beat. And let me turn on the piano so you can hear it. And so for this section, I put a massive bass, you know, just like a sub bass. And massive has some good sub basses on it, so I put a massive bass on it. And I guess the 808 will come out and the bass will come in. And then I also put one of those little voice effects that you probably heard 100 times. And I put that on there, so it's like this. And this actually isn't on 21. I don't know what's going on here, but it's supposed to be on 20. So it goes like this. I might even put an extra one of these. I don't know. So I put that right there, and that'll be another part. And then I went ahead and just basically lay down some drums, man. So the drums are coming off from Maschine right now, and we also laid down an 808. And you can see a lot of times I'll have more than one 808. Sometimes I'll open up an 808 and I want to do something to it, like make sure it's on the right key or pitch. So sometimes I'll open in the pitch corrector, and a lot of times you can really see how it might be on a wrong key. You can use the variation in the center knob to get it right on key. Or sometimes I might just, usually I know what key it's on, so I don't have to really go into the audio editor and do the little detect pitch regions. Usually I know where it is because I have most of my samples tagged already. But sometimes when I make a change, or sometimes I'll go into, you go into the envelope and you'll turn the attack down, you'll turn the hold up and the decay and sustain down. And it'll make the note start and stop when you release the key. So sometimes when I do that, what I'll do is I'll make another one. And like this second one, it has the changes, but the first one doesn't. And it's because if you make that change and you try to bring it back, it's never the same. So if you were going to make that change and you're not sure, or you're not going to commit to it, definitely make a clone and then just see how it sounds on the cloned one before you switch to that change. So I was messing with the 808 and it was sounding messed up. This is an 808 that I made myself the other day. And so I went ahead and I opened up another one I made. And I made it just by affecting the length and the in and the out of a regular 808 sample. You can kind of affect how long the sample goes and all that by changing these knobs right here, and you can get some real good effects with 808s. So try that. Once you get it good, right click it and save it as your own sample. So I went ahead and I put a little bass line on it, and the bass line is just real simple. It's just like this right here. Maybe put some fast distort on it later, where y'all can hear it. I guess it's not even really going to the channel yet. And I stopped doing the 808 to the drum bus, but that's cool. That's about it, man. So go ahead and let you hear the drums right here. They're just coming from Maschine, and I sequence these out in Maschine, so you can sequence out a pattern just like this in Maschine. It's real easy. Just remember when you use a machine, always sometimes you want to push the shift. What is it? Shift and I can't even see this button because it's in the dark. But sometimes you want to change the snap on your machine just so you can get in higher, higher snap notes, higher steps, and all that. All right, so let's go ahead and play this. And it sounds like that. So I went ahead and I renamed all these little sounds right here, and go ahead and save this, and yeah, we'll just save it right there. All right, everything's pretty much set up, so we want to go ahead and route these sounds to the mixer. And this one doesn't have to be routed. And then so this one was channel 19. I'm gonna go ahead and skip 18 and put this on 19. Actually, I don't think I had to do that, but it's cool anyway. And then I'm gonna put 20, 21, 20 through 21 right here on the mixer. This is the old-fashioned way of doing them, but I think I have to hold shift when you do that. Alright, so we went ahead and loaded all the sounds to the mixer. And so at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and commit to this 808. I'm gonna delete these other 808s I had. And that's about it. And so we're getting ready now to go ahead and sequence the beat out. And I've showed y'all what we do to get the drums onto Fruity Loops. It's probably, I guess, the biggest step. My screen's a little small, so I bring the browser over here, and I'll bring my machine. Here's my machine. I'll bring it over here. And what you want to do basically is you want to, since my machine takes up the whole screen, I have these MIDI tracks over here and they're labeled, so I know what they are: kick, and snare, and da-da-da. What you want to do is you want to go to the machine and you want to click on the piano button, this button right here. It opens up the piano roll, and it's important you do that because when you drag MIDI notes over, meaning you hold this button and you drag them over, if you don't have the piano roll selected, it's going to ask you what you want to drag over. Like, for example, if I pull this right here and I did that, it brings up this thing and it's like, what do you want to bring over? Then you got to go through and you got to find the original sound, and it can get complicated, and sometimes your thing might not be in this list. And what you have to do is you have to, like, if you want channel 5, you have to just select channel 5 or 6, and it can get more complicated and waste time. So what you want to do is just click on the piano roll and then drag it over. So I know this is my kick. I'll just drag it right here over here to kick. And now let me try that again. My mouse is like so messed up lately. And so I'll just drag it over to the kick, and you can see it right there on the kick, you know. Boom. You can see the notes. And I can actually just push down on the keyboard if I have machine selected, and it goes down to the next sound. And this is good because you can see which ones have MIDI information. So I'm going down right here, and this is another one. So this is my second snare, I can tell. Go down. This is my fourth snare. And so I'll just drag them one by one like this. And you just have to hold down when you do it. And this is my hi-hat number 1, so I'll click on it and I'll go to hi-hat 1. This is my hi-hat 2, so I'll just click it and drag it. And so if you do it like this, it can take you literally like just seconds. That wasn't hi-hat 3, that was actually open hi-hat. And the crash, yeah, I did have a crash. And then this is my first percussion sound, and I'm just doing it slow for y'all, but if you do it faster, or you do it like this, you can do it a lot faster. So basically this doesn't have to take up time or interfere with the workflow really. Alright, so we moved everything over. Once you move everything over, let me turn my machine on. I have it off since I had finished this beat. Once you have it over, all I do is all these sounds are on pattern 1, right? So I just click the pattern button, I open up a new pattern. I'll make it pattern 2, and I'll make it the same length. So now machine is empty, it's on pattern 2, which is empty. All the drums are right here in my playlist. And I can push play and I can hear my drums. I'll go ahead and I'll turn these lights on for y'all. And you can hear them right here. Let me just show you everything I'll be doing. Another thing I'll do is like I got these drums going through right on machine. A lot of times I'll open up the mixer, so I push the mixer button on the hardware, but I'll push it over here too to show y'all. Open up the mixer and I'll fixed velocity is on, so every note should come in at 100%. So I'll play my notes. Like for example, like this knob shouldn't even be down. This should be up at like 0. But anyway. I push my buttons, and like sometimes I find a sample like this sample, when I push it, even at full velocity, it only comes up to like -10. If I push the sampling button, or you can actually see down here, it's because the sample's not it's not normalized. So sometimes I'll normalize it. So here's normalize, I push apply, and it just makes the waveform bigger, and it basically makes it come to 0. And you can see now it comes to 0 when I tap it. That's just a preference thing that I do when I'm mixing. And now this one comes up to 0 already. So this is just how I set my sounds. Right before, like this one, I might have put a little normalization on that. This one already comes to 0, and this sound right here is real weak. I'll put some normalization on it. Before you do any of these normalization or any edits, you always have to make sure that their drum kit's already been saved. Mine's already been saved. You see it says LAT kit 307. If you do not save the kit, any edits, destructive edits like these right here that you do, truncate, normalize, reverse, it will save a duplicate of the sample on your computer wherever that sample is located. So if this sample came from your drum kit folder, all of a sudden it's going to start having all these duplicates, you know, with the number 1 behind them. It's because you didn't save the kit right here. And if you save the kit, all the duplicates go inside that kit instead of somewhere on your computer. It's very important because if you have your machine organized, you don't want to be coming across the same sound, you know, 5 times because you got 5 duplicates. It'll mess up your whole library and everything. So you have to save the kits before you do destructive edits, or it'll make a duplicate on your computer and you'll have lots of duplicates. That's about it. So now that the drums are coming through, I have some custom presets that I use for my EQ, and I'll turn them on, and I'll just like turn on my little parametric EQs. A lot of times I'll boost like this on a snare. I'll just go ahead through each one and I'll turn on it. These are just like guidelines. You can tell that these EQs are not too drastic. On the hi-hats they are right here. And you can see all it does, it just cuts off everything. Just like you already do on your hi-hat. And it's just cutting off all the low, and it's even cutting off some highs. Just basic EQing. I have these already set up like presets, and sometimes I'll just come and I might move them. I might give it more space if I want it to have a little more space. And then on my percussion sounds is the same thing. I've already cut the low. That's the crash. It doesn't even have any low. And then my percussion sounds the same thing. A lot of times they don't have any low, so these are just basic presets, but they fit a lot of things. Just sometimes you need to go in there and like this one doesn't even need the boost right there, and this sound doesn't have any low. So yeah, just turn on my parametric EQs. I leave them off because they take up CPU. They don't take up a lot, but they do take up a little bit, especially when you got a lot of them going on all your tracks. So take those off, and that's about it. I'll go through my sounds. You know how a lot of sounds, they do need a little bit of, they don't have any low, so they need to have the low removed sometimes. So I'll go through my sounds and I'll do stuff like that. Just like a real quick reference. This isn't even all the way part of the mix. It's just an easy cut, like to where it didn't affect the sound crazy, but it did take off a little low. That's all it really did. It did nothing, not doing much of nothing. It's my sub bass. Yeah, that's about it, man. So I just check my sounds just like that, just to make sure that they're not too crazy. Like on that piano, I could definitely like do some EQ boost on that. Like I could like put another point in here somewhere. I have to make a star like that. Just not really doing much. Basically on those EQs, all I did right there was just take off a little lows. Didn't even do any spikes or peaks or anything. So the sounds are pretty much basic. That's about it. So I got everything lined up right now. I have the headphones on. I will take them off when I get to mix, and I'll try to just balance, basically level everything where it is right now. That's why it's important. I took out a lot of lows so that I can try to level it. And this is my 808. Sometimes I used to boost the 808 range up here, and sometimes it's not necessary, depending on what 808 I have. And then I have another parametric EQ on the 808. It's just taking off some of the lows. Sometimes I'll tighten it up like that, and sometimes I'll take off even more of the highs, because you know the 808 stops about right here anyway, about 500 hertz. So that won't hurt it, and stuff like that. So everything's good now. I'm gonna go ahead, let me turn these off. These are some effects I have, because sometimes I have mixer presets. Sometimes you want to bring in a mixer preset, but you don't want to bring it right on the channel, because it'll destroy all the chain that you have going. So you just open it on an empty channel. What I mean is, like, you right click and you go to file, and then you if you organize your presets, you can put your presets right here. These are all mixer presets. One of those presets might have, you know, 4 or 5 different effects. It's like a chain of effects, custom FX chains that have been saved. A lot of them I've made, some of them I've gotten from other creators, and I have good EQs and reverbs, all type of stuff. Alright, so everything's good there. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video so that I can mix it and sequence it. But since everything is labeled like this, this was my original guitar pattern, but I deleted it. I didn't like it. Let me just, I'll keep it there. But what you'll do is you'll go to pattern 1. Once everything's been linked to the mixer, everything's been labeled, and all your notes are here on your pattern 1. You already know, you just go to split by channel. If you go to the playlist, you can see everything's on pattern 1. So I'll go to split by channel, and bam, it splits all my sounds by channel. That's why it's okay to have those extra ones, because I can just select the ones I want right here. I don't want the scaler. And scaler was real important in finding the key, because hell, like I said, I'm not familiar with the Dorian scale, and I wouldn't have known, and I might have messed up, or I would have been trying to push at least one wrong note in the scale when making the melody, and it could have really threw it off. So that's why I think scale is great, because it can help you find your chord, and also what chords or what scales go with your chord, or you know, that relate to it very closely. Alright, and so I just make all the little boxes the same length. It's not necessary at all. I just do it just for the way it looks. You remember, if you hold down Control and you right click, you can see you can see everything. So it's zoomed out, so I can see it all right there. I'll just select it, you know, like that. How you select it, and you just hold Control and you just start pushing B, and it starts to copy it. If you put your little bar up here, you can see what time you're at. So I'm at 2:07. I keep adding some more. So now we're at almost like 3.5 minutes right there. So that's pretty much a good length for the song. Go ahead and zoom out, and you can see that it just went ahead, laid everything down, and then it's just the classic sequencing it out. So you know, take out your drums and figure out what sounds you want to go at the beginning. And let me move this up, these guitars up. So if you just hold Shift, you can move tracks up. So it made this track 3 and that track 4. So all of my guitars are right next to each other. And then the other sounds right here. Alright, so that from here I'll just sequence the beat out. You know? I'm not sure how it'll come in when I start, and when just make sure we got all the sounds on, like the bass right there wasn't on. So just figure out how we want it to drop, and then we'll go ahead and do that and sequence it out. So here it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video. I can't really do it while I play the video. I can, I guess, but it takes me a while, a little trial and error. So I'll pause the video while I do that. 1 second. All right, man. I'm still trying to figure out how to sequence this out, but I want to show y'all right here. Sometimes when the 808 is coming out and the sub bass is coming in, like I got the 808 down here, but right after it I got the sub bass. So the 808 will roll over into the sub bass, and it'll just make mud, right, just like this. So you can hear how the basses are colliding. So all you have to do for that, I learned that a while ago, is by all you have to do is put the 808 and the sound, the sub bass, on the same group. If you click on the 808, you can see that it's on group 36 by 36, and you just want to go to the bass and go to its group and put it on 36 by 36. So as long as they're on the same one, they will cut each other and they won't play at the same time. That's it. So I'm just going to show y'all that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. Keep trying to sequence this out here. Alright, man. Alright, it's kind of crazy, but I had like a lot of sounds or whatever going on different, so I had to kind of figure out how I was gonna sequence it out. But I went ahead and did it like this. I just sequenced it out where it'll drop with a little hook, and then it'll have a 12 bar verse, and it'll come back to the hook. And so you can see the hook going. This section right here, it goes up 3 times, and then at the very end, it just ends with the hook and fades out. So a lot of times, what I'll do is after I sequence the beat, however I'm gonna sequence it, or however let me see something right here. Wait a second. Let me. What the hell I'm looking at? I'm looking at looking at my beat. I guess I sequenced it out different. Hey, wait a second. I think this is how I wanted it. And I could have sequenced, I could have it different right there on one of them. I guess it wouldn't hurt. But anyway, once I sequence it out like that, what I'll do is I'll just put a little fade out on it. The way I do that, I'll just go up here to the volume, go to copy value, and then I'll scroll up here to an empty channel. You can see it here on the left side going to an empty channel until it gets to 22, which is empty. And from there, since I have this little red thing highlighted, I can just go to up here to the volume, go to create automation clip, and it'll put it on that extra channel. Then I'll click a little dot wherever I want the fade to start. So I want it to start like right around here. And when I click that dot, I'll go to paste value. It'll paste the volume so that the volume's the same from the beginning all the way to that dot right there, which is basically the end. And since there's a dot right there, this dot, I can drag it down to, the bottom volume, and you can even like affect this right here to like how it will go. But that would be a fade out. Yeah. So that's it, man. After that, I might go up here to one more extra empty channel or whatever, and I might click right here, click the little step sequencer, and this is my tag. Lately, I just like to drag the tag, and I'll just put it on like this, and I just drag it until it's long, until it's like decent. It's not exactly on time, but I'll just drag it out. And so I'll just drag it like that. Sometimes I'll put the box where the line is, like you can kind of see like that. And I'll just put this on its, I put it on channel 25, and once it's in there, it's right here on the bottom. Just turn the volume down. You can even see it on the mixer. That's it, and I'll save it. And at this point, everything is good to go on the sequence. And I'll just go ahead and I'll just mix the beat out from here. I got the headphones on still, so I'm going to take them off. And I just level them. I actually don't use these knobs anymore. I used to use them, but I stopped using them. And now I just use the volume knobs right here. They're a little more, how do you say, sensitive, more accurate right here. And since the drums are coming from Maschine, remember, all we need to do is push the mixer button on the Maschine MK3, and it has the screens where we can see all our volumes, and then we can use those knobs, the 8 knobs, to turn the volumes up and down. So when the beat's going, I just turn the volume knobs on the MK3. That's how I'll set the levels for my drum sounds right there, using the knobs on the MK3. I'll just leave these all at 0, at balance, at unity, and we'll go ahead and we'll mix the drums in. And when it comes to the sounds right here, like I said, we just use these knobs right here. These knobs are the same as using those. In fact, the signal chain, it hits this knob before it ever hits that knob. So we'll hit these knobs right here, and we'll just set our volume level, and that's it, man. We'll try to put a little mix on it. I actually everybody has a different mix process. I've been doing a lot of different stuff lately. But I'll come to my master and I'll put a little chain on to give it loudness and to keep it from clipping. A lot of times, sometimes I'll use the soft clipper, and that's about it, man. I have this momentary, I guess I was trying to screw it up for a little bit, but that's about it. I'll go ahead and I'll do it like that, and after that, that'll be it. So I'll go ahead and I'll save it and go ahead and end the video. Appreciate y'all tuning in. But yeah, just wanted to show y'all how the workflow goes basically, and I showed y'all basically starting with all the sounds. But we just load up instruments right here in the Fruity Loops. On my template, if you have my template, you can play in scale mode, and you can also, I've showed you, well, that's bad. I've showed you where you can open up the browser and you can actually browse all your presets and load them right into the instrument. So we have our Nexus and Dune and Electrackz and Silent. These are the plugins that will allow you to do that. So you can actually browse with the knob on the MK3, bring them in real quick. And that's about it, man. I'll go ahead and end the video. Appreciate everybody. Y'all give me a lot of support. I appreciate y'all, man. Love y'all for being on the channel and enjoying what I'm doing right here. Guess I'll let you go here and hear what I got going on with this beat. It's kind of weird the way it breaks down right here, but still need to mix the beat, so it's probably just loud mess right now. But that's how I like to cook up, just having all the sounds, just chaos, and then I can focus on just creating and the arrangement of the beat. But then once all that's all put together, then I'll come back and I separate, or on the end I'll do the mix. I used to try to mix as I go along and stuff, but it just wasn't effective for me. It can be effective for a lot of people though, because you can get a habit of how to get everything right. But I like to focus just on organizing my little sounds and melodies first, and then I like to come through on the end and do a little mix on them, try to get them to go together. So I'll go ahead and end the video, just play a little bit of this beat right here till it gets to the little chorus. And this is just a simple beat, just got the little guitar pattern right there, and that's about it, man. So till next time, appreciate y'all. But this is how you do it with the workflow. I showed y'all how to bring those MIDI notes over, and so that you can have them right here on Fruity Loops, so that we can actually sequence them out with the step sequencer. You can see them all right here. That reminds me, a lot of times with the notes, you know, like we'll go into the piano roll and let me just a lot of times with the notes we go into the piano roll, and you can do a lot of stuff from here, like this right here, and I'm not even gonna mess with all that crap. But you can go into each note like this, and you can actually affect it on the piano roll. And a lot of times that's what we do. You just want to make sure a lot of times that your notes are coming in at full velocity, if that's what you want. And just little stuff like that, man. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the video, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I appreciate y'all support. I always appreciate y'all support, because without y'all, I just do the channel just for y'all, man. So I appreciate the support y'all give. It's much appreciated, man. So I might do something, just simple stuff like that sometimes. Just anything you can do, you know, to give the hi-hats. You can push Alt R right there, and I'll just mess with the with the velocities and just little stuff, man. And you also know about on the hi-hats, it's funny how you can use these controls on these MIDI notes. These notes aren't even waveforms, they're MIDI notes, but I can still do stuff like the echo, delay, and the time. So sometimes you turn up the shift and the swing. It can give your hi-hats a little bounce and stuff. Just little stuff like that. You won't even really hear a difference per se, but it can really make a big difference on the groove. And I just do just little stuff like this, going in here and panning sounds left and right and stuff like that. So those are also options of stuff you can do. And I just wanted to share that with y'all before we go ahead and end the video. But yeah, it just kind of gives it a little more humanized feel, because you know, when you are playing the drums for real, everything's not gonna be just like all the same, you know what I mean? It's gonna have some variation. And so sometimes I'll just do little stuff like that. That's about it, man. Until next time, man. Enjoy y'all's day. One. Alright, man, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. I might, instead of 12 bars, this might need to be out to 16 bars. It seems like the hook's coming in kind of fast, kind of throwing it off. But I might have to sit and rearrange the sequence on this. But until next time, appreciate y'all. This is number 10 in my workflow videos. This might be the last one for a while, but I definitely wanted to show y'all, the type of stuff that I'll be making, this type of stuff that you can make with the Maschine and Fruity Loops. Really opens up a lot of possibilities with Fruity Loops, and it doesn't neglect Maschine as long as you have the template and you have it set up to where you can use all the Maschine functions. So watch my quick tip videos. That's really where the work and the power is. It shows all of the functions one by one and short 1 to 2 minute videos about how to use Maschine and Fruity Loops. And we have 150 quick tips so far, so just spend a little bit of time watching those and you'll really freshen up on your skills with Maschine and Fruity Loops. Alright, till next time.